This is Scot, Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scot, Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scot Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. What's going on? Today is Tuesday. It is January 17th. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man coming to you from the 7 Mile Casino Studios. 7milecasino.com is the website. And if you're looking for a place to play blackjack or poker or other table games in a smoke-free environment, only 7 minutes south of downtown San Diego, best location going. Sammy's Restaurant and Bar, which is Sammy's Woodfire Pizza on the other side. You're going to love it. Good luck at 7 Mile Casino. So, hey, guys, just getting onto the airwaves of 1090. Just getting onto the stream of YouTube. Make sure you're getting into our YouTube chat. I know it was very active yesterday. A lot of people coming by in the show yesterday because they all wanted to talk about and hear about the Chargers and the massive failure on Saturday night in Jacksonville. As a matter of fact, Tony Boselli, the Hall of Famer and the Jacksonville Jaguars color commentator, will be with us here coming up soon. He'll be back to hopefully gloat about our Jaguars. So just getting onto the radio, just getting onto the stream of YouTube, all the audio podcast platforms that you would expect, and of course tonight on television, Channel 4 San Diego. All right, Grande, Brown Man. The end of the wild card weekend happened last night, and we may have seen, and I think a lot of people would like to see, it be Tom Brady's final game. It's very hard to get the John Elway or the Peyton Manning walk-off, Super Bowl walk-away moment. Most of these guys can't walk away. You look at a guy like Matthew Stafford, all those terrible years in Detroit of taking those beatings and losing, but then comes to the Rams, wins a Super Bowl. This year, gets hurt, doesn't play, team stinks, but he can't give it up. It's like a freaking drug, man. And so for Tom Brady, when I see him play last night, I don't know how you guys felt about it, but for the first time, and maybe I wasn't doing a good enough job of paying attention this year. Maybe I didn't see enough Buccaneers games, Browner. Maybe I was too caught up in the red zone rather than watching the full game. But the fact is, until last night, I had not seen Brady look like, and this is just an opinion here, watch it on television in a bar, loud and crowded. Brady looked slow, and the game looked young and fast. And unlike a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen or even a Daniel Jones, who I just saw this past weekend for the Giants play in Minnesota, Tom Brady looked slow and old. And while we see LeBron James put up 48 last night, we see LeBron James still crushing it at 38 years old, he's 38. He ain't 45. So I don't know about you guys. I've been saying all along, I want to see Tom Brady leave the Buccaneers and go finish his career, maybe in Las Vegas with the Raiders. But after what I saw last night, I think I'd rather celebrate Tom Brady's career by watching this movie that they're promoting now with the four old ladies that want to go see Tom Brady play in the Super Bowl. I mean, that movie was written and produced and filmed like 5 years ago, you know? But it's coming because I've been to the movies twice in the last couple of weeks, and I keep seeing the previews. But I don't know about you guys. Brady last night, old and slow. Fellas, good afternoon. What'd you think?
About Tom Brady?
Oh, yeah. Listen, I don't know how anybody could have watched that and want him on their team next year.
You guys clearly don't play fantasy football or pay attention. Tom Brady is not the problem in Tampa Bay. Like, Tom Brady has had a dismantled offensive line. He's got old wide receivers that have been in and out of the lineup. They never replaced Rob Gronkowski. They have an inconsistent run game. Byron Leftwich, Jacksonville, take a breath, my friend, because you avoided that disaster because Doug Peterson's way better. The Bucs just fired Byron Leftwich, by the way. Tom Brady was like top 3 in every statistical category this year with all those problems. I would take Tom Brady over Kirk Cousins today.
So let me ask you a question.
Now.
Let me ask you a question. Then why was every pass off? Like, he wasn't under
no
immense
time.
amount of pressure.
What do you mean he was under amounts of pressure?
Did we watch the same game?
I watched Micah Parsons bully the hell out of the offensive line all night. Tom Brady was under siege. It looked like a scene of Game of Thrones, and they had no protection.
But what I'm saying is, this is just my own opinion. By the way, let me tell you something, smart guy. I resent what you just said to me. Okay, I really resent it. I take it personally.
The fantasy
Okay?
football dig?
Yeah.
Okay.
I take that personally.
Okay.
You've really hurt my feelings here this afternoon.
Why? Because your GM won the league?
Because I won
No.
the Kaplan and Crew Fantasy Football League.
No, you don't. Who's on your team? Who's your quarterback? Okay.
Good answer.
Thank you. Let's
Good
move
answer.
on. Let's move on.
Who was my quarterback?
I don't know, but
But I don't. Oh, then
I know
should've
you
said-
don't know.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, maybe.
Josh Allen
Okay,
is my quarterback.
maybe.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Yeah. I think it's Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know who my quarterback was. Okay, and you're right. I don't play fantasy football, and you're right. I didn't know that Tom Brady was top 3 in all the statistical categories, but I would just guess.
I actually
this.
don't know if that's true or not, but
Okay, well,
it
it was
sounded
very
really good when
convincing
it came
the
out
way
of my
you
mouth.
said it.
Yeah.
I'll just say this.
You
I
learned
do
that
know,
from the master.
Mhm.
I do. Yes, he did, Browner. You say it confidently, people will believe you.
Mhm.
I do know this. Tom Brady had over 700 pass attempts this year.
Mhm.
That's too much.
He had like 60, almost it was 65 or something like that last night.
66.
Okay, because I was listening to the Westwood One radio broadcast, and Kevin Kugler was saying that the all-time record for passes in a postseason NFL football game was 68 by Ben Roethlisberger, and Brady was approaching it. This is after they recovered the onside kick and the game was over, but they were like still trying.
Mhm.
But I know what you're saying, Alex, about how he was under siege last night.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. All I'm saying is that for the first time that I can remember, Brady looked to me slow to the point where it's like, hey, the guys that are rushing, like Micah Parsons, how old do you think that kid is?
Like 23.
25?
Yeah.
Yeah, if that, right? So I've always loved that Tom Brady has played to 45 because I love that story. I like seeing guys prove that they can do things beyond what people think is the norm. Look, Drew Brees retired at 40 and Phillip Rivers retired at 38, and nobody's ever really gotten, at least in the modern era, where Tom Brady is at 45 years old. But in my opinion, watching on television last night, massive screens and high def, what I could see was he looks slow and old. Doesn't mean he couldn't still play.
And missing throws.
If you had a really good offensive line and you had you had a strong running game, I'm not saying I wouldn't take Tom Brady next year. I'm not saying he should absolutely 100% retire. I'm just saying that he looked very good.
As someone with Mike Evans on his fantasy roster, unfortunately, what you saw at the end of that game last night where Brady drops an absolute dime into his hands and he drops it, he did that about 27 times this year. I don't know if that's a stat, but he did that so often this year. Chris Godwin came off an ACL injury this year. Julio Jones is, I think, as old as Tom Brady. That's his third option. Like, I'm just telling you, I watch way too much Bucs football this year. Tom Brady has looked like that all year long. He's looked,
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
but he's looked like that since he's 27.
No, not
No.
like last
like
night.
I'll always remember when was it the Eagles? That playoff. Remember when they did the Philly special and Brady tried to catch the ball and he just looked like he was 65 years old. Yeah, like he's just looked like that forever. He's always looked like that.
No, what I saw last night was him missing throws. Not guys dropped balls. That's just a game. But he was missing way more throws than normal. Like that interception he threw in the end zone.
That was terrible.
Basically took the air out of it. Like he would have never done that.
But I'm just saying, like,
ago.
if you want to like dissect the game and tell me that he was bad last night, I will not argue that. But I will argue that dude can play next year and he could be at a top level for any team any team in the NFL.
I would take him over Baker Mayfield.
Listen,
no doubt.
If you start rattling off like the quarterbacks in this league, you would take Tom Brady over a lot of them. I don't even know what percentage.
Probably over 20 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you could find maybe call it 15. You could find
how
15
many people
quarterbacks
before last night, and I'm sure people will change their mind because we live in a week-to-week league. How many people would take Tom Brady over Dak Prescott before last night?
Mm-hmm.
The three of us probably would.
Here's a fact for you. I'll take him over Dak Prescott after last night.
Dak Prescott had the game of his life last night.
Yeah, he did.
Don't be fooled by that, y'all. If you're a Cowboys fan, don't be fooled by that.
Because the Bucs are awful.
Railroaded. He finna get railroaded on Sunday.
There was a reason why the Cowboys were favored on the road.
Yes.
The Bucs stunk. The
Yeah,
NFC
terrible
South
year.
stunk. The
Right.
Bucks barely got in. Barely got in. Like the Bucks were an awful. They had a losing record. So
And won a terrible division, which gave them a home playoff game, which gave me, as a Brady fan, as a guy, again, I'm rooting for the 45-year-old guy to keep it going. It gave me hope that this is Tom Brady's time of the year. Playoff time, here comes Tom. No matter how bad they were, they found a way in. They're hosting a playoff game. Tom Brady's going to win this game. And I thought Brady was terrible. You're right. His teammates, didn't make plays. His offensive line stunk. Cowboys defense came for him. And Dak Prescott had the night of his life on a night where I couldn't believe it. It was shocking. When Dallas scored their first touchdown and their kicker missed the PAT, you're like, oh wow, that's important. That's an important point. When they scored their second touchdown and went, oh my God, he missed again. When they scored their third touchdown and he overcorrected and went the opposite direction, you're like, oh my God, no way. This guy has missed 3 PATs. These weren't 3 50-yard field goals. And then when he comes out for his 4th PAT and he hits the upright, and you're going, dude, I've never seen anything like this. And everybody's like, dude, it's in his head. It's mental. Of course it's in his head and it's mental. 4 missed PATs in a game. And when he finally made one, because by the way, when he made one, they were driving and it got to 4th down and he's like going on the field and coach is like, we can't trust you to kick a field goal. Get over here. Right. But when they scored the touchdown and he went out and he kicked the PAT, the relief that the kid felt. Yeah. And his teammates. Oh man, that, by the way, that hit a little too close to home.
Did you go 0 for 4 on extra points?
Oh, come on. I've told you guys this story.
The Burt Grossman story? When he wrangled your neck?
No, different story. I've told you guys
got a lot of missed kick stories.
I know. Well,
I know.
You got a Rolodex of missed kick stories.
Well, I wish I didn't.
Me too.
But I have one in particular, worst game of my life. I could tell you all the different excuses, but I'll just tell you the end results. Playing a game against the University of Minnesota, playing in the old Metrodome. Okay, this is not their new stadium up in Minneapolis. This is the old Metrodome.
Inflatable stadium.
Yeah, and the day before the game, we had a walkthrough, and we were in our 2-minute drill, and I missed the field goal in the 2-minute drill, and it's against air. It's not like there's a live rush or anything. And so they line it up, do it again, the whole 2-minute drill. They come down, kick the field goal, and we're good. Practice is over. And so I made it, missed it, made it. The next day we get into the game, and early in the game, I think we drove down the field, line up to kick like a 38-yard field goal, chip shot field goal. I missed. Just missed. Okay, no problem. No big deal. Defense goes out. We get an interception. Offense stalls. Go out to kick like a 48-yard field goal. Missed. Uh-oh. I'm 0 for 2 in the game. It's the first quarter. I remember my father telling me the story. They were watching. They're waiting for the game to come on, but there was a game that was finishing. By the time they got to the game on TV, they're like, all right, well, it's 0-0, and Pitt's already missed 2 field goals in the first quarter. My dad's like, what? We get to the second quarter, and again, offense stalls. We line up for like a 51-yard field goal. Right hash, miss it. Now I'm 0 for 3 on field goals. We go in at halftime, and I remember the coach screaming at everybody, and he's yelling, and our kicker, and he looks at me, missed 3 freaking field goals. I mean, my head was spinning. We scored a touchdown, and I kicked the extra point, and the relief that I felt that the ball went through the uprights. And then later in the game, lined up for like a 27-yard field goal, missed that one too. I missed 4 field goals in one game. Now, they weren't all 32-yard PATs. My coach told me the next day. And by the way, we won the game. 2 of my boys picked me up in that game. You guys have met my buddy Billy Davis, 2-time Super Bowl champion with the Cowboys and the Ravens. He blocked a punt, and my boy Doug Whaley, former Buffalo Bills GM, caught it in midair and scored a touchdown. We won the game, but I missed 4 field goals in the game.
Yeah.
And the next day, we had a coach, I don't remember his name because he was only there for a short period of time. He said, Scott, if this were the NFL, today you get cut. And I remember being in the training room. This was probably like Monday or Tuesday of that week. And there were 2 articles in the newspaper. And we always had newspapers around. We always read what was going on. And even when it was bad news, we knew. And so one article was about Penn State and one article was about Pitt. And the Penn State kicker that same week, he missed 3 field goals in the game. And Joe Paterno was the coach. And he said, I remember it so vividly. He said, "This is our guy. We're sticking with him. He had a bad game." Next article was our coach. "We're having a full-blown open competition this week." So like Penn State, Paterno, he's our guy. We're sticking with him. My coach, I already a 2-year starter. Nope. Wide open competition. Screw him. So I won the job back that week through a competition. We were playing the University of Maryland the following week. And dude, we line up for a field goal and the mother effer gets blocked. I've missed 5 in a row. Later in the game, we made an interception. Offense stalls. I come in, kick the field goal that wins the game. Not like a last-second walk-off, but the field goal that puts us up to win the game. 1 for 6. I mean, it just destroyed my stats for the year. I was a freaking head case. So if Dallas, I don't know what they're going to do. Do they cut this kid after missing 4 PATs?
No,
and
Jerry
get somebody
Jones
new?
laughed at the question.
Oh, he did, because what they should do, seriously, what they should do is put their arm around him, tell him they love him, tell him no problem, dude. We picked you up. Get it together this week. That's all. So
He missed
I'm
one
telling
extra
you guys
point
right.
all season.
Yeah.
And they were just, I mean, it's all about circumstances. If this is a regular season game and they lose, they might cut the guy.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was like a blowout basically, and it was 24-0 instead of 28-0, I think he got saved by the circumstance of the game.
No doubt. No doubt. I got saved by the circumstance because by blocking that punt and scoring that touchdown, we won the game.
Yeah.
And oh God.
If the Cowboys lose that game last night, I don't think he's on the team next year. I don't even think it's a question.
Right.
Yeah.
How about that, man? You talk about suffering, dude. I was suffering that day. And last night when I was watching this young man and everybody was laughing about him in the bar, I was like, oh, I feel for this kid, bro.
Yeah. I wonder if Maher has ever flipped out on the sidelines when Dak has multiple interception games. The way Dak flipped out at his missing the 3rd kick. I was wondering, like, does the kicker get mad? Are they allowed to get mad if the teams are just playing awful, or or is it just because they're kickers that only the positional players can be mad at kickers?
Because when Dak almost led the league in interceptions, I wonder was he over there kicking the net?
Yeah. Was he slamming his helmet on the bench, being like, "Damn it, Dak! Damn it!
Stop it with the interceptions!"
Yeah,
but you know what he was
Dak.
probably. You know what he was probably doing? He was probably talking.
2 in 1 game.
He's over there talking to the punter going, freaking Dak sucks, man. Freaking Dak. And like the only person you can tell that to is the punter and the long snapper.
Yeah.
That's it. Those are your only 2 options.
Yeah.
Those are your only real teammates.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are your only friends on the team.
Yeah. It's funny though, when I saw Dak flip out, I was like, man, I think Dak's had a lot worse moments than Maher in their career. Yeah. I really.
By the way, if all Dak had to do was like look at the score. Now I know what he was probably thinking, which is these are important.
He's going to come back and bite us in the ass. We're playing Tom Brady.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Which I thought too. I was like, this is setting up for a classic Cowboys devastating playoff loss, and Tom Brady being the GOAT of circumstance. Tom Brady's always takes advantage of those situations, and
that magic gone, bro. That magic gone.
The Bucs magic. I mean, Todd Bowles is the worst head coach in the NFL.
Well, that's just it. He's the magic. You say the magic. Is it really just Brady? Or like, think about what happened. Buccaneers. Bruce Arians leaves. Todd Bowles becomes the head coach to fire Byron Leftwich today. And I always like we're telling you who we're blaming thing, and that'll turn into the Chargers because the Chargers have announced that they fired their offensive coordinator because somebody has to take the fall.
Who told them to stop running the ball?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like they were down like the Jaguars in the first quarter.
Correct.
They were down 6-0 in the first quarter. They were down 6-0 until the second quarter.
Who told y'all to stop running the ball? Fire that person. Because if it wasn't Brian, if that was okay, then you got to go.
Hey, Brown. But we always talk about like black coaches in the NFL. You got a black head coach firing a black offensive coordinator. Brother, please.
Hey, man, listen, this black-on-black firing has got to stop. Martin Luther
Got
King's
to
birthday
stop.
was yesterday, brother. What
Cannot-
are we doing out here in these streets?
Right. I mean, where are all the people who complain and cry? Come on, they're not hiring minority coaches. A black head coach fired a black offensive coordinator. I can't live with that, Brown.
Me neither. I can't stand for it. We need
I'd be
protest.
surprised. I'd
Hey.
be very surprised if it was Todd Bowles that fired Byron Leftwich. Though.
Yeah, well, but here's the thing. They're lucky they played last night and he got fired this morning. You imagine if they did this yesterday?
Nah, they wouldn't have done
On the
that yesterday.
holiday?
They'd have waited.
Well, I mean,
Well,
they
they
haven't
did.
officially fired him yet. I think they're even still giving it a day. It's too close.
Oh, I thought it was like a done deal.
They haven't announced it, but it's pretty much done.
Oh, I
Mhm.
thought it was a done deal.
Yeah.
All right,
You-
listen, stick around.
You should get a day to clean your office out at least, Scott.
Give us let's get going here. Let's get rolling. We're in the 7 Mile Casino studio, 7milecasino.com. Tony Boselli is on the way. We talked to him on Friday. He nailed it. He said that it's going to be a close game, but the Jaguars will make a play to win the game. That happened. Tony Boselli, the Hall of Famer, on his Jacksonville Jaguars, next here on Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
When someone you know has COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, things can progress very quickly, making them feel hopeless. But it doesn't have to be like this.
See, Mom, this place is going to be great for you. They're going to help you breathe better.
Pulmonary rehabilitation at La Mesa Rehab focuses on patient education and training. We use special therapies to improve your lungs, clear out mucus, and keep you out of the hospital. Pulmonary rehab is Medicare approved. Call now to see if you qualify or ask your doctor about La Mesa Rehab today.
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray Lampert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylampert.com for your consultation.
Surf Soccer has been around for over 30 years. We're based here in San Diego, but we are the premier national youth sports brand in soccer. Our mission is to create experiences and opportunities for kids, and we do that here mostly in San Diego with our 1,000 kids, but we also do it through our events where we really help kids chase their dreams.
PNC Bank sponsorship helps the kids here. One, it is to continue to help fund facilities like this where the kids can come play soccer. 2, it is really through our scholarship program. There are a lot of kids in San Diego that have incredible levels of talent, but they can't afford to play on a team like Surf. And so a lot of our sponsorship dollars go back into scholarships to give an opportunity for kids who are low to moderate income to play on one of the elite teams in the U.S.
Having a partner like PNC who is community oriented and cares about the development of youth in the community is amazing because our missions are completely aligned and we're both driven by helping develop kids, and in this case through sport in San Diego.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Listen to The Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and themightier1090.com. We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew Show on the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
People often ask, when should I call a lawyer after a car crash? If you're injured, then you should call 911 and seek medical attention right away. Then, assuming the crash wasn't your fault, you should call a lawyer as soon as it's safe to do so. There are several reasons why. First, it ensures that your legal rights are being protected while you focus on your health. Second, getting an investigation started immediately can be vitally important, since the physical evidence at the crash scene, surveillance video, or witnesses may not be around for long. Third, unfortunately, insurance companies may not have your best interests in mind and may try to take advantage of the situation knowing that you are not yet represented. They may try to take recorded statements or make lowball offers. Put it this way, calling a lawyer is free. The cost of not doing so could be quite expensive.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
Most people never expect to get into a crash or trip over a hazard and fall, and they certainly don't expect that it could lead to life-altering injuries. Most of us assume it's just an ache. It'll go away. I'll be fine. And luckily, usually they are right. But unfortunately, some injuries aren't obvious, and the adrenaline of the incident may mask the seriousness of your condition. Plus, when the injury is due to someone else's negligence, then you will have to prove that your injuries are from that incident and not something else. So not only is it important for your health to get checked out to rule out that anything is serious or even potentially life-threatening, it's also important to document your injuries as closely to the event as possible in a medical record. Otherwise, the insurance company will try to use that gap in treatment as proof that your injury is not related to the incident.
Surf soccer has been around for over 30 years. We're based here in San Diego, but we are the premier national youth sports brand in soccer. Our mission is to create experiences and opportunities for kids, and we do that here mostly in San Diego with our 1,000 kids, but we also do it through our events where we really help kids chase their dreams.
PNC Bank's sponsorship helps the kids here. One, it is to continue to help fund facilities like this where the kids can come play soccer. Two, it is really through our scholarship program. There are a lot of kids in San Diego that have incredible levels of talent, but they can't afford to play on a team like Surf. And so a lot of our sponsorship dollars go back into scholarships to give an opportunity for kids who are low to moderate income to play on one of the elite teams in the U.S.
Having a partner like PNC who is community oriented and cares about the development of youth in the community is amazing, because our missions are completely aligned and we're both driven by helping develop kids, and in this case through sport in San Diego.
This is the #1 advice I give to my friends and family. Get the most UM, uninsured motorist, UIM, underinsured motorist coverage that you can. Here's what happens all the time. After a car crash, you have a ton of medical bills, you're out of work, and don't know what the long-term effects of what your injuries will be. Then you find out that the driver who caused the car crash only has $15,000 in insurance. and you say, good thing I'm fully insured. You have good liability, collision, med pay, but only $15,000 in UM/UIM. In that scenario, you and your family are not covered by your insurance at all, and you will be limited to only $15,000 in defendants available coverage. The premiums for UM and UIM are not expensive, so do yourself a favor, check what your UM/UIM policy amounts are, and make sure at a minimum they're the same as your liability coverage.
What do you want, Anthony?
I'm in town for a big presentation that's due after the end of the year. My computer got damaged.
What about the backup?
It was in our luggage and it got lost.
On New Year's? I thought you needed me, but apparently you're doing fine, so I...
Would crying have been any better?
Always the charmer.
Jess, I'm sorry about what happened.
It's midnight. Happy New Year's, my friends.
Yeah, super romantic.
Drivers are getting in accidents at a rate we've never seen before, jumping 18% since 2020. There are higher incidents of speeding and more aggressive driving since the pandemic began. Please slow down and drive safely. It can save a life.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com. Brought to you by La Mesa Rehab, improving the lives of those with all types of lung disease and long COVID symptoms.
Surf soccer has been around for over 30 years. We're based here in San Diego, but we are the premier national youth sports brand in soccer. Our mission is to create experiences and opportunities for kids, and we do that here mostly in San Diego with our 1,000 kids, but we also do it through our events where we really help kids chase their dreams.
PNC Bank's sponsorship helps the kids here. One, it is to continue to help fund facilities like this where the kids can come play soccer. Two, it is really through our scholarship program. There are a lot of kids in San Diego that have incredible levels of talent, but they can't afford to play on a team like Surf. And so a lot of our sponsorship dollars go back into scholarships to give an opportunity for kids who are low to moderate income to play on one of the elite teams in the U.S.
Having a partner like PNC who is community oriented and cares about the development of youth in the community is amazing, because our missions are completely aligned and we're both driven by helping develop kids, and in this case through sport in San Diego.
At the Barnes firm, we're seeing more pedestrian and bicycle accidents. Drivers are rolling through red lights, and distracted driving makes every intersection a danger zone for pedestrians. Look both ways when crossing, even if you have the right of way.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
Hey, great friends. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. It's Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man. To all of our 1090 radio listeners, glad you guys are here on a Tuesday. And to all of our YouTubers, make sure you're getting involved in our YouTube chat. I know everybody wanted Tony Boselli back on the air. So last week, the Hall of Famer Tony Boselli, who is the color commentator on the Jaguars radio network, said to us he thought the Jaguars would make one more play late in the game to win the game. Thought it would be close, but thought the Jaguars would find a way to win the game. At 27-0 with the Chargers over the Jags, I mean, I got to admit, I kind of thought there's no chance, really. But then deep in the back of my mind, I'm going, but I got to remember who this is. And if there's some team out there that can fully fall apart and collapse, this is one of them. So welcome back, Hall of Famer Tony Boselli, to talk about our Jacksonville Jaguars and their miraculous win over Browner's Chargers. Hi, Tony. How are you?
What's up, guys? It was, I think miraculous is the right thing. Something that's never happened before. But as you said, the Chargers found a way to make it happen. First time in the history of the NFL playoffs that the team has been -5 in the turnover margin or worse and won the football game.
It's insane. I mean, Tony, what were you thinking, though? Like, because to me, once the first interception happened, tip, interception, before you know it, touchdown. Okay, fine. It's like, all right, it's a touchdown. It happens. But 4 interceptions in the first half, it just looked like there was an avalanche happening and there was nothing Jacksonville could do to stop it. What were you thinking at 27-zip?
So, I mean, the first pick was a fluke. That happened. I mean, I was like, okay, no big deal. Gave him 7-0. It's a long game. The second interception was a absolute mugging by Asante Samuel. I have no idea how that doesn't get called pass interference. So now I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me. Is this one of those nights? After 4 interceptions, I was is he going to throw 10? I mean, at that moment, he was 4 for 16 with 4 interceptions. And I was like, and then the fumble, the muffed punt. And the only little, glimmer of sunshine was the fact that the Chargers weren't converting all those into touchdowns. The defense forced some field goals and everything else. But I wasn't very hopeful. I was thinking I'm probably not going back on Kaplan's show because it doesn't look good. But I actually said on the radio, and I said to the guys as we were doing the game, I said, if they can go score before the half and make it 27-7, that changes everything from a player perspective going into the locker room. Because you have a little bit of momentum, you have something good that happened. And this team has come down. This team's been down 17 twice this year in the second half, and come back and won both those games against the Raiders and the Cowboys. So they've been there before. And so I thought that was the critical moment. I said, if they get a score there and they get one stop coming out of the halftime against the Chargers and can go down and score, all of a sudden it's 27-14. You got a ball game at that point. And that's what they did. And that's when I thought they had a chance to come back. But at 27-0, I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. Tony Boselli, the Hall of Famer, is here. He calls the games for the Jacksonville Jaguars and obviously saw this comeback. So for me, Tony, when it's 30-20, and I give a lot of credit to the Jags, they're crawling and clawing their way back in, but it's 30-20. The Chargers get down into the scoring position, and they bring out their kicker. And all we've heard about is this kid, Dicker the kicker. And he's missed one field goal all year long. It was like 50-something yards, and he's solved the problems that the Chargers have had for all these years. And the kid misses the field goal. So now it's 30-20 rather than 33-20. And here comes Jacksonville with all this momentum. So now they score. They get it to 30-26. But Joey Bosa, if he just walks 3 feet to his right and he's on the sideline and he slams his helmet, no problem. But Moron decides to slam his helmet on the ground on the playing surface. Another penalty after the earlier penalty that he'd gotten. At that point, rather than say we'll get it on the kickoff and maybe we'll have an onside kick or something creative, let's move the ball up a little bit. They get the 2-point conversion, and at 30-28, I don't know how it was for you guys. At 30-28, knowing the math, now I'm thinking Jags are going to win this game.
Yeah, when they got to 2, I thought this is it. I mean, our defense, number one, our defense played great in the second half. Now, the Chargers helped out. I still don't understand how they only run the ball 8 times up 27-0 or 27-7, I guess it is, just to burn clock. And they didn't. And the Jags defense was great. They couldn't run the ball an inch. And they started playing much tighter coverage, and the pressure was dialed up against Herbert and forced some errant throws and everything else. And so I at 28-30, I was like, you know what? The defense is going to get one stop. That's all they have to do is get one stop. And I knew if we got the ball back, we were going to win. I mean, they were not going to stop. At that point, Trevor Lawrence went from being just awful to a Hall of Fame quarterback. One half to the next. I mean, because he was lighting it up in the second half. And the pass rush of the Chargers couldn't get there, and it frustrated Bosa, and he, lost his composure. And in fairness to Bosa, that was a terribly officiated game on both sides, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the officials were atrocious. I thought the first penalty against Bosa, the unsportsmanlike, it was almost like the official was like chasing him down, trying to get him to say something. I don't think that's good. I thought the Chargers defensive backs were mugging and holding the hell out of the Jaguars receivers. And, then every pass rusher doesn't like getting blocked. And was he held a couple of times? Probably. But I thought it was just a poorly officiated game, but it was evenly poorly officiated. In fact, I'd probably say the Jags had more poor calls because of what the secondary was doing.
But you know what? But Tony, but then there's one play after the missed field goal and after the 2-point conversion and at 30-28 with the Jags getting the ball back. You talk about making a play to win a game. When Trevor Lawrence throws the ball and Kyle Van Noy has it hit him in the hands, hit him right in the chest. If that guy makes that pick, it's game,
over.
Set, match.
Yeah.
But the missed field goal when the kid hadn't missed, the dropped interception when he'd already thrown 4, little things like that. I was saying, oh my God.
Tony nailed it on Friday, right? You said the Jaguars are going to make one more play. That was Van Noy's chance, and then you guys got the 4th and 1 conversion and went for 25 yards.
Yeah, that's what they did. I mean, that's what this team's done on this winning streak. I mean, they just make plays so they lost 5 in a row, and they had the lead in the fourth quarter in those games, and they didn't make plays, and they lost. And in the 6-game winning streak now, they just find ways to make plays late. You get a turnover, big plays from Trevor in the offense, whatever it is. And listen, they were helped out. I mean, one of the big plays that no one's talking about when the Jags get the ball back 30-28, first down, Trevor gets sacked. So now it's 2nd and 19. And they throw a little 5-yard, 6-yard check down. And I can't remember which Charger defender. It's pass interference. He goes over the top and just mugs the guy again.
Mm-hmm.
They call it. And now it's 1st and 10. At that point, I'm like, it's over. They have no chance. They're not stopping us.
So you have unique insight on this next question. The thing that Joey Bosa is mad about is the kick out from the tackle, that he's getting a head start on the play, and the referees were supposed to be calling that this year. They're not, or they weren't that particular night. What advantage does the tackle have by doing that makes him so upset?
Well, he gets off the ball, so he doesn't have to worry about the speed at that point because he kind of takes away, something that Joey wants to do is kind of either speed or speed to power because you get off the ball a little bit. But it's interesting because Jawan Taylor's been doing this his whole career. He is one of the quickest guys off the ball. If you go slow motion and watch it, he times it perfect. I mean, it is really close to the naked eye. It looks like he's going early, but in slow-mo, I mean, it is so close. Now, I get his frustration, Bosa's, but the reality is you can't allow that to, for you to lose your cool because it impacts the team, and that's what happened.
Well, have you seen a guy melt down like that before, ever, in your entire career?
Oh yeah, I've blocked some of those guys and forced the meltdown.
It's a point of pride, brother. You get that done.
Well, what did you think about Bosa though? I mean, the meltdown. You're wearing a captain's C. You've been hurt all year long. I applaud the warrior mentality of surgery on your groin and coming back to try and help your team late in the season. But you haven't played all year, and now you're going to melt down like this? I mean, talk about hurting your team.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's something obviously he regrets. Joey Bosa is one of the best pass rushers and best football players in the entire NFL. Now, watching the tape when they played the Rams 2 weeks before, and then watching him on Saturday night against the Jags, he is not healthy. He is not. I mean, he's just not. And I give him credit for getting out there and battling. It's the playoffs. He wants to play. I've just a ton of respect for Joey Bosa, but you could tell he's not 100%. He did not have his power. Usually he's one of the most powerful guys out there, and he just couldn't generate the power he needed. And so I'm not giving him a pass for the meltdown and making those mistakes that hurt his team. But part of me gets it. You're a great player. you can't do what you want to do. That's frustrating. You feel like the offensive tackle's holding you and getting early starts. That's frustrating. And then you're sitting there watching your team melt down and it's slipping away and you can do nothing about it. So I get the frustration, and I'm not saying I would have handled it any better, but that's where just the maturity, and you got to just figure out how to keep your cool, because he just compounded his frustration into a mistake that hurt his team.
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of Jaguars hand up like all season long, but one thing that I did notice from Trevor Lawrence from his college and now NFL is he keeps his cool no matter what. It just seems like he just is such a cool guy. He's gone under the radar all year long, even though he's national champion, #1 pick. Do you think that last week's performance and now playing the Chiefs on Saturday will elevate him to kind of get, I guess, for a respect that he deserves?
I mean, I would hope so. I think he's one of the best 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the NFL. If you look what he's done and where he's come from. And one of the things that I love about Trevor, and why I probably rank him pretty high, maybe higher than others, and I am biased because he's on my team, he's probably has some of the best mental toughness I've ever seen. The dude he's physically tough. If you watch him play, he's like fearless in the pocket. Like he will not flinch, and he'll sit there and make big throws when he's getting hit. Never complains. But if you track what from his rookie year dealing with Urban Meyer and what he went through and what he was asked to do for the organization is almost be a spokesperson as a rookie, which is ridiculous. All the way to how he's handled this year and all the pressure. And he had some rough starts early in the season. The guy's unflappable. I mean, he just doesn't blink. And I'm telling you, you guys have watched a lot of football. Scott, you've been around it a long time. And there's not many guys, I don't care, all pro guys that can recover from throwing 4 picks in a playoff game.
Yeah.
And he was never shook. He just kept on playing. And it's kudos to him, but it's also how Doug handles them. And Mike McCoy, the quarterback coach, has not gotten the credit he deserves because he is such a calming influence that the team's never rattled, and Trevor's never rattled. So, they're going to go to Kansas City this week. They're big underdogs. But I promise you one thing, the environment, Chiefs, the situation will not be too big for them. They might lose. I actually think it's going to be a super close game. I think it's going to be similar to the Chargers game as far as in the fourth quarter. Whoever can make the play, get the stop, get a turnover, or make the big play offensively is going to win this game. But the one thing I guarantee is that the Jags will not blink. They will not be overwhelmed. And Trevor will not panic. Doug won't panic. And it's because of that they always have a chance, no matter what the situation is.
I came back on this show Monday. I'm a huge Justin Herbert guy, and I'm like, Justin Herbert's way better than Trevor Lawrence. I came back on this show Monday, and I said, Trevor Lawrence is better. There's a certain level of unmeasurable that you can't get it at a combine. You can only get it in the moment. And what he was able to do showed me that he's got whatever that unmeasurable is, he has it. Because Justin Herbert had just as many chances to score with more, in my opinion, more talent on his roster. And he didn't. And somehow Trevor Lawrence did. And so to me, that created the separation that I needed to see. So when you say he's top 5, top 6, I think other people are going to start realizing that as well.
Yeah, he just does things. You're right. He does things that you can't measure. And if you see how he's received in that organization by the players, he's the guy. They look to him. They love him. Like even during the game, and they reported it afterwards. Guys on the sidelines after pick 4, they're like, "Hey, don't worry about it. Let's go." Like they were like, "We're gonna ride with you, dude. Like you're our guy," and he knows it. And he builds a level of confidence because he's behind center in that organization. And I've been super impressed from day one. Even in the middle of the year, he had a game against the Broncos. He was absolutely atrocious. And there was a couple games that he made decisions in the red zone where he threw picks. Just the worst decisions you could imagine. And all he did and the other thing that he does, he owns it. Like he never points a finger. He's never blaming anyone else. It's like him. He's like, hey, it's bad. It's my fault. I got to get better. And because of that, he has a ton of respect. And I think I don't know if I said it on this show last week, but I've said it a couple times. The Jacksonville Jaguars they'll win a Super Bowl, at least one with him, at least one. And they will be a dominant in a player in the AFC every year as long as he's quarterback for that organization.
Sounds like what Joe Burrow said about himself and the Cincinnati Bengals. Our window is as long as I'm playing. Tony Boselli, the Hall of Famer, is here. You know my favorite thing that Trevor Lawrence did on Saturday night?
What's that?
He went to the Waffle House for a celebratory.
Dude, he's Jacksonville. He is all Jacksonville. I mean, he grew up in like a little town in South Georgia, not far from it. He fits the culture. People love him. He's embraced Jacksonville. And him going to the Waffle House is about perfect. I mean, there's not pretty much a more Jacksonville thing you can do is go Waffle House at 1:30 in the morning because nothing else is open.
That Waffle House can be dangerous, though. Listen, the people who work there know martial arts. People got to be careful at that Waffle House.
Let me tell you what, if you've never been to a Waffle House, it's one of the great American institutions. I mean, it's fine. It is fine dining at its best. I have found myself in a Waffle House or two early in the morning.
He might find himself there again. He's playing on Saturday.
Yeah. How about
Saturday?
He's never lost a game on Saturday.
Listen,
Ever.
I got to say,
at halftime, I was like, that's going to change.
Yeah.
It didn't.
I got to tell you, I'm so rooting for the Jaguars now. I mean, come on. These guys are they're the big underdogs. They're going to Kansas City. You talk about Browner, about respect for Trevor Lawrence. He's playing against the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's only Patrick Mahomes is probably what is he, fifth-year player? Maybe fifth, sixth, maybe. So Trevor Lawrence is going to be part of the same era of quarterbacking. It's going to be Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, maybe Herbolt's in that conversation. Not Justin Fields, Browner. But
what are you doing?
Come on, man. I mean, all I'm saying is I'm on this Jacksonville bandwagon. Tony, upsets. What would it take?
They're going to have to. I mean, they cannot lose the turnover margin against the Chiefs. They have to win the turnover margin. They have to. Listen, the Chiefs are not going to fall apart like the Chargers. I mean, Andy Reid is a better coach. They're a better organization. They're better, they're just better. So you can't do that. So you got to win the turnover margin. I think a fast start is critical for the Jags. And so if they can keep it, either have a one possession lead or keep it a one possession game into the fourth quarter, they have a chance to win. And offensively, the one thing they must do, they have to block Chris Jones. That is the one guy that scares everybody. And he's the one guy on that defense who can literally mess up your whole game plan if you don't deal with him. And then offensively, the same situation, Travis Kelce. Make someone else beat you. I would bracket Kelce, and if Juju Smith-Schuster or Scantling or Valdez-Scantling or whoever else is, Tony or whoever's out there, they beat you, tip your hat. You can't let Kelce get off because he just extends drives and he's a killer in the red zone. So I think those are the two key. If you can stop Chris Jones, stop Kelce, I think, and win the turnover margin, I think the Jags will win.
All right. Hall of Famer, Tony Boselli. I love the video of you and your broadcast team in the booth. And when the field goal is good, which, by the way, I mean, that Jacksonville field goal barely snuck in.
Barely.
Yeah.
No, I think someone said, I didn't see it, but someone said that the refs threw a flag because the Chargers were offsides.
There was definitely a flag because while you and your broadcast team were all celebrating and going crazy and your play-by-play man was good, and then you yelled, "That's what I'm talking about." On the other side, Al Michaels on TV, he's getting roasted.
Yeah, on the official play-by-play, it was offsides on Asante Samuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how about that? If you would have missed, they would have gotten their kick.
That would have been so Chargery. That would have been just absolutely perfect. Tony, it's great to see you again.
Real quick question. I mean, you were a kicker. What was going through? I always wonder I cannot imagine the pressure and what was going through Riley Patterson's head with the comeback and everything that had happened and everyone dying on the field. And then here it comes. You're the kicker. You got to walk out there. And the whole damn season's rested on your shoulders.
I know. What for? Like, you want to have that attitude of this is my time. Like, I want this, but on the other hand, you're like honestly about to lose your stuff in your drawers. You know what I mean? But I love the one thing about that young man. He had that cross around his neck. And while I'm not like the most religious person, like for him, he had this trust in something else. And the way he had his necklace up and he was holding on to his cross.
That was cool.
That was really cool. That was really cool. Tony, we got to hustle. And I know you got things to do. Thank you very much for doing this. We appreciate it. And good luck, Jags.
Let's plan on doing it next week again.
Yes, sir. Let's ride this Jag bandwagon. Tony Boselli, the Hall of Famer, stopping by. Stick around, everybody. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios here on Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Murray Lampert now brings architectural and interior design to a whole new level for your remodel, ADU, or whole house build. Our team starts by modeling your project in 3D based on your lifestyle goals and budget, making adjustments along the way simple and accurate.
We're always motivated to strive for excellence. There's kind of not another way to be.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly. Visit murraylampert.com. Our family, your home.
Hola, I'm J.R. Cardenas.
And I'm Vanessa Ramirez.
We're the hosts for Su Vida, where we showcase California restaurants, music,
art, culture, and so much more.
We would love to talk to you about featuring your business on our show.
Yes, and as an added bonus, you get to keep the professional video segment to repurpose and use on your website or social media channels.
Please click on the link below to get more information about how to put your business on Su Vida.
We hope to hear from you soon.
When you're in pain, you need physical therapy that works, but you want to feel safe during these times. At La Mesa Rehab, your health is our business. We screen each patient, provide masks, and constantly sanitize our private individual treatment areas so you can focus on healing. The foundation of our physical therapy is education. Our therapists care and guide you through the healing process. Ask your doctor about La Mesa Rehab.
The best care you can have at La Mesa Rehab.
When doors open for kids, they change lives. For over 75 years, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater San Diego has been opening its doors to provide a safe place for kids whenever they are out of school. A place with caring mentors and opportunities to focus on academic success, healthy lifestyles, and character building. At the club, we do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid that walks through our doors by inspiring, empowering, and changing lives.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
Hey, great friends, it's Scott Kaplan here, and I want you to come check out our new TV show. It's called Kaplan and Crew Tonight, every Monday through Friday at 7 o'clock right here. Now, look, it's the best of the radio show from earlier that day on the mightier 1090, and we've been doing it for 20 years, so now we're expanding the way we talk about sports and the way we can be heard and viewed.
Kaplan and Crew Tonight. Be a part of the crew. Weeknights from 7 to 8 p.m. on Your View.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 a.m. ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.